All right, we're going to be talking about what I call zoning. Zoning, I guess, is putting yourself in a strategic placement um, where you can do what you want to do and the other person can't do what they want to do as effectively. So one time you could zone would be on a person coming at you. So that could be during a sparring match where they're coming towards you, or it could be just a self-defense encounter where someone who's a little suspicious is coming towards you. One thing you could do is just keep some space and zone off to their left, your right. Statistically speaking, I think it's like 10 to 12% of people are left-handed. So almost 90% of people are right-handed. So if I zone off to their left, I'm avoiding their power hand, their power side, and I can move that way. It's a good practice to do even in sparring, but zoning off in a wide circle around that side. And for a self-defense encounter, if I can move that way and move toward an exit or toward where other people are, that would be a good way to do some zoning. A lot of times when you're fighting or whatever in a close range, it would be good to, after you attack, before they can counterattack, to zone off to the side or to a 45-degree angle. So when the person grabs you, when you're grabbed, I typically use my other hand to monitor. So if they're grabbing here, I monitor that hand. So if they pull it away, I can feel it. I have tactile awareness of it, and I can feel it and follow it back so that they can't punch me with it as effectively. And I always know where that hand is. And the tactile sense is always faster than the visual sense in self-defense. So I use it to monitor that grab, and I'll even sometimes monitor the other hand. But I'll also, as far as zoning go, I'll move away. So if they're grabbing me with their right hand, I'll move a little bit to their right, away from their free hand, so that it would take them longer to punch me. And if I can, I'll even stay zoned out at a distance where they'll have to step or shuffle in to strike me with that other hand. So that would be ideal. And I'll profile myself a little bit so that I'm farther away from that strike, so that you can use zoning on grabs. On strikes, you can use it too. If someone's striking, ideally, if I can zone off to the outside of their punch, so if they're straight punching with their right, I'll zone off to my left, which is on the outside. That way I'm farthest away from their other hand, so they can't hit me effectively, or they'd have to pivot to hit me with that, or spin to hit me with that other hand. So it puts me in a strategic position to hit them, or to do what I need to do, or to get out in a self-defense scenario without getting hit as fast or as effectively. So you can use that in striking. In grappling, a scenario where you could use zoning is, if you think about it, if I get on the person's back, if I take their back, or what they call the back mount traditionally, if I get on their back, I've zoned around to a position where my methods of grappling or chokes and strikes really are way more effective than theirs, because they're like an upside down turtle kind of. They really can't do much from that position to me as long as I'm on their back. So that would be considered a zoning also. Now with weapons, I typically like to move to the opposite side of the weapon. So if the weapon's coming from this side, I move that way, or vice versa. I always move away from the weapon. If they come at me and they have a weapon in their right hand, I move off. I automatically start shuffling to the left so I have more distance. Or if they have it cocked to their left side, I move to my right. And I'm always zoning away from that at a strategic angle. And also putting some distance between us and them. So, yeah. With multiple opponents, this is where zoning is really helpful, because, well, there's no good strategy really against multiple opponents. It's a difficult situation. But one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle of 2, 3, 4 people, whatever, because they can all do everything to me at the same time. So I want to utilize my good footwork to line them up. Let's say there's 2 people. I'm always going to line them up. So I'm in front of one person, and that other person's always going to be behind them. And I'm always moving around in a position so that I only have to fight one person. If I have to, I'll pick them, I'll grab them, and I'll move them physically in front of the other person, so I don't have to fight two people at the same time. So I always want to line them up. And in self-defense, I'll line them up and, get out of there as quick as I can, find the hole. But I never want to be in the middle. So those are some examples of zoning and strategic placement of your body. I call it zoning. I've heard it called that by other people too, but there's not a whole lot of information out there on that. But that's some of the basics and things that I use. So you can use it in sparring, you can use it in self-defense, achieving that strategic angle where it's difficult for them to attack you, but you can attack them or exit if you want or need to. So I hope that was something that was maybe some useful information to you, maybe new, and I hope you got something out of it. If you like, share, and subscribe, I would appreciate it, and thanks for listening.